Hello, everyone. As we all know, that the planet Mercury has gone direct since yesterday, since the 12th of July, and it is gaining momentum. In fact, it will gain its full strength from July 26th onwards. Now, once you understand what the planet Mercury implies for all of us, you'll be able to intuitively realize the steps to be taken which lead you towards the realization of your dreams. Knowing the placement of Mercury in your natal chart will definitely help you realize your attitude in communication. Reflecting on the transit house where Mercury is now posited will help you take steps in the direction required for you under the prevailing circumstances. Now, actually, if you see, knowing a little bit on having a lot of knowledge of what the planets employ, what the planets imply, will help you better understand not only yourself but also the world at large. Now, understanding the planet Mercury. If you carefully observe the symbol of Mercury, it shows the mental half of the crescent of soul resting on the circle of spirit, which itself rests on the cross of matter. Observe it, just Google it and see how the symbol of Mercury is. It is as if the symbol for Venus, with all its power to love, beautify, desire, and attract, has been crowned with parabolic reflecting antenna similar to that of the moon. The symbol of Mercury suggests the ability not only to focus with pinpoint accuracy on the particulars of what is mentally desired, but also to concentrate and communicate those personal ideas to the universe. It's also called the winged messenger. In mythology, Mercury represents the mind, the energy that enables our ego to receive and transmit facts, ideas, and information. Now, Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. So, in your personal horoscope, Mercury will occupy either the same sign as our Sun, or one sign behind it, or one sign ahead of it, but definitely not far from that. This can be interpreted as the symbolic of a mind which is either involved with our current situation, thinking about the previous one, or jumping ahead to the next. Now, by concentrating on a subject, one fact at a time, Mercury enables us to make reasoned connections between your ideas and predictive calculations involving logical assumptions. When we become too obsessed with knowing the outcome of a situation ahead of its time, we tend to be prone to nervousness and worry. I want you to understand, never be too obsessed about the future. Be mindful of what you are doing. And Mercury is the planet that helps us realize this, that whenever we become too obsessed with knowing the outcome of a situation ahead of its time, we tend to be prone to nervousness and worry. Mercury rules our hands, sight, and our nervous system. My endeavor of telling you about the planets is a simple fact, is that understands the planets, because planets always imply, they never compel. So, what are the keywords of Mercury? You need to think, because it's all to do with your mind. So, think, observe, study, analyze, discriminate, divide up into component parts, criticize, reasoning, logic, connect with people, communication skills, adapt, move things about, spread, things that you do with your hand, your creativity, your craft, your form, the detailing, and even also be a little calculative. It's all about translation, all about communication, all about how you speak, write, and read. Now, what is the message of Mercury? It says, Use logical methods in all you do and say, and you will not have to worry about wasting time and resources. But what's the warning? What is the warning that this planet gives us? It says use the analytical power of your mind to improve, not just tear apart what you feel is not perfect. Now, Mercury in your horoscope, what will it describe? It actually helps us understand what we think about, how an individual thinks. Although it's very simplistic, even the sign placement can be relevant here. For example, the mind of those with Mercury in the Taurus or Earth signs might tend to gravitate towards food and money making, whereas those with Mercury in the fire signs like Sagittarius may ponder on the meaning of life or think about their next trip abroad. So, know where your Mercury is situated in the natal chart. Very important. What we talk about. This will be related to how we think, or what we tend to think, or what is our concept or perceptions about money, relationships, food, politics, spiritualism, and so on. How we talk about it, how we talk about the subject, what is the attitude we have, and the modulation of how we talk, how we communicate. The entire Mercury complex has to be examined here, but especially significant are the aspects to the planet. Mercury will have much to say about our style of communicating. Do we have a low voice, a high pitch, a loud voice, or do we whisper? Do we stammer out of nervousness? Do we talk very quickly or do we speak slowly? Is our tone angry, sarcastic, polite, bored, or something else? Do we answer letters immediately or not at all? Do we write long letters being explanatory, or do we write very short, crisp ones? And whatever we write, are we writing the factual things, or we are just being flowery, emotional, or witty? Now, how are we on the telephone? Do we love it or do we hate it? Do we spend all day on it or we hide behind an answer machine? And why? So, Mercury can actually address your thoughts of what you want to do, how you're going to do it, and why do you need to do it. So, if you can handle these reasonings or if you can understand these reasonings about yourself, you can actually bring out a lot of positivity in you and perhaps even negate some of the negatives that you feel are not conducive to your growth or success. That is why they always say, please, it's very important to go and learn communication skills or time management or anger management. Knowing your Mercury, where it is placed, will actually help you in your time management, in your anger management, in your communication skills. Because you need to know what is the deficiency in you. So the placement of Mercury, since it deals with the mind in your natal chart, will help you that these are the things that you have in yourself. And the transit of Mercury will help you know what is it that you are required to do in the present circumstances. Now, Mercury has gone direct. In fact, it was retrograde there also, but now it has gone direct from retrograde, and it was stationed in Cancer, going direct in Cancer. Now, there can be, now when Mercury is going direct in Cancer, what is the thing that you need to understand? That there can be a liking for recording information. Suddenly, you may develop something, your interest in the digital world. Or you feel that today's circumstances or your present scenario is a demand that you need to get onto the digital platform. Thus, this is an excellent placement for the diarist or the curator or the people who are enjoying doing their things by themselves. You may be the person who suddenly feels that I need to record my lectures because there can be a need to be able to play things back, to be able to relate to the past, or to go back over the things. Often there could be an interest in history, memory and the touch, that is mind and heart. Memory and your feelings, memory and touch may go together. And some people with Mercury predominant in Cancer particularly like to feel things with the hands. Now, this can be notorious if you're not careful. So, you need to be careful because Mercury, Venus go together. Mercury in Cancer particularly likes to feel things with the hands, and this also can lead to instant gratification, which can be notorious or harmful. So, you need to take care. This is a very good placement for the people who are into food business or restaurants or service industries because it combines commerce. Mercury is all about commerce, commerce with food and nurturing. Cancer is nurturing. So the commerce to do with the nurturing or the service industry is going to benefit during this time. There can be a need for a mother figure to talk to or a confidant. Many with Mercury here will take on this role for others. Now, an attentive and sympathetic communicator is implied. However, the receiving and conveying of facts can be a little skewed because of your emotions, and personal experience may color the individual's attitude to interpreting data without their even being aware of it. So you need not to be emotional. Now is the time to be practical. Mercury is going in Cancer. It will make you emotional, but remind yourself that you need to be practical. Now, as indicated, it is now direct and will not retrograde anymore, but will still be present in the retrograde zone until July 26th. Now, what does this mean? This basically means that we will be confronted with residual energies. If you're still facing conflict on some levels, try to get your message across without getting too angry and resolve things without creating a scene. It will prove beneficial in the long run. Now, sure, you may feel like you're thrown into the gutter right now, but things will get better. Mercury is a very powerful planet that has only our interests at heart. Although you cannot see or feel this right away, but it is absolutely true. Since we are more able to communicate properly and things calm down, if you see when you're communicating in a very calm manner, situations calm down. You will have moments of respite and can relax to catch your breath before things start to pick up again. In fact, now you'll feel ready to apply whatever it is that you have learned during the retrograde periods into your current reality. It only takes a very few days of Mercury being back on track for you to notice the difference. From here on, that is from yesterday on, in fact, from today on also, you will feel the energies of the planet. You will feel like voicing your opinions. You will feel like putting your thoughts into action. And it's very natural. It's a very natural phenomena. In fact, you should do it. So you could lay your blueprints till the July 26th. And after July 26th, you can actually start executing. Because from here on, the planet is going stronger by the day. Be patient, be calm. It will just take a little more time before you're ready to execute your newfound clarity with success. Now that the clarity is there, it is important for you all to maintain your journal so that you write down your points, that these are the projects that you need to be done or executed, and then keep checking the box every day, probably. In the meantime, now that Mercury is direct, over the next few days, you are free to sign contracts, schedule vital meetings, have a significant conversation, and make important decisions or purchases that you have most wanted. Remain confident as you push ahead with anything that requires cerebral muscle or that requires your contemplation. Now, till July 26th, just be a wee bit careful, deliberate your thoughts, and articulate whatever you have in your mind and heart. You are sure to meet with success once you set in motion the work that you have carefully planned out. It's something like I've always felt that when Mercury is going direct, you actually become very creative in your mind. There are times when you get up with a premonition, there are times when you get up with an idea. Trust me, write that idea down immediately. And if you can write it down, you can articulate it and then execute it, you are bound to meet with success. So, knowing the knowledge of planets, that what do each planet imply, and then utilizing your intuition and mind. And once you have studied and once you have mastered that what are the planets in your natal chart implying for you personally, so when these transits are going on, you will intuitively know which is the correct step that you need to take, which is the direction that you need to take, and what is it that you need to declutter. Once you can handle that, you will be able to successfully handle yourself. So understand what every planet is wanting you all to do. And trust me, success will definitely kiss your feet. Stay blessed and stay safe.